He'll never change his outfit, but he will change his lineup. Yes, Cliff from Team Go Rocket, joining the other leaders in having Johto first partner Pokemon or starters, so Cliff actually going to have Cyndaquil. You're going to see that coming up. So that will be his first spot Pokemon. Of course, I'm not intending Clang to actually be the one that goes up against it. It would be okay right now, only because Cyndaquil is not using a fire type fast move. It can either have a one like this, which would be Tackle. That's a normal type. So actually Clang resisted that, but imagine that it was using fire. Obviously that would be super effective against Clang. So usually no matter what though, I kind of take advantage of stagnation time with Team Go Rocket. This is something that I'll show off in every video, so this one's no exception. You'll see that hit the screen right here. But essentially what I'm talking about is every single time that you switch, if there's fainting, it could be from either side, right? Team Go Rocket switching in a new Pokemon or fainting or whatever. It's also after every charge move, so whether that's the enemy or you. The Team Go Rocket Pokemon, they are going to stand still for, it's almost 3 seconds, so that's really just time that you want to be continuously using your fast attack to generate more energy to be firing off charge moves. And if you imagine it, you can kind of chain them together, meaning like, okay, if you've got a pretty good, let's say a fast attack that can generate a lot of energy per hit, but then a charge move that doesn't take a lot of energy to generate overall, then you can have like a combination where you just keep firing that off, boom, 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 over and over and over again, and it's like Team Go Rocket can hardly move, So we did lose the Golem just because we're making the battle a lot harder for ourselves than we need to. I always do this just in case people need kind of more budget options in this game. Maybe you don't have too many good choices. Well, these are Pokemon that can win at the lower levels, so I go below 1500 CP. So like I said, you're actually going to see, this is from my earlier point about charge attacks and things like that, you're going to see this Clang really doesn't allow this Skarmory to get any hits off for a long time. What's really interesting too is about a move like Skarmory's using, I think this is Air Slash, so we are going to resist that. The Golem resisted it as well, so it's kind of a good transition Pokemon for us here for Clang to then come in with that steel typing and resist. But also the cool thing is it does take a little bit longer to hit us, right? So we're going to see Skarmory, boom, it does the attack, and so it'll hit us, but if we use our charge attack basically just before that little wave will hit us, then it won't actually do the damage, right? So it'll like play the animation, you'll see the move look like it's going to hit us, but it won't do any damage. So it's kind of cool. Whenever that happens, it just means that, well, you can kind of exploit it, I guess. But yeah, Golem, if you wanted a more like spammier option, you'd probably go with Rock Blast as a charge attack rather than having Ancient Power. I left it on Ancient Power just again to make this a little bit harder, but just in case people, don't have the options, right? And so the great thing also about when we started with a rock-type Pokemon against Cyndaquil, if it can use normal or fire as its typings of the fast attack, rock takes care of both of that, right? It resists both normal and fire, so it was a good option. We're going to have Tyranitar come in here at the end. That's almost always what I get with Cliff, man. Some people are like, I remember back in the days when he had Mamoswine at the back, on that last Pokemon. It's always a possibility, but I just never get anything but Tyranitar whenever I'm fighting him. I don't know. Am I lucky or not? I mean, the great thing is if you use a fighting type against Tyranitar, you're going to be dealing the, 256% super effective damage rather than the usual 160. What that means, it's almost like doubly super effective, you could say, right? Because both Rock and Dark, which are Tyranitar's, both of his typings, so again, they're both weak to fighting. That's why we say it's some extra super effectiveness in here. We're getting just regular super effective though right now with this Clang who's just deciding not to go down. Clang will not go down. This is crazy. Also, what would be great is having Poliwrath. Poliwrath is really great for Tyranitar actually because it'll resist pretty much all of Tyranitar's fast attack typings. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it resists all of them because it's got the water to like resist steel, for example, right here. But also if it was using Bite being a dark type attack, so anyway, fighting will resist that. But yeah, so we just had Poliwrath come in as kind of that last pinch hitter. And so once again, the fight was a little bit harder than it needed to be here when we go below 1500 CP. So you could use theoretically the same Pokemon or same typings and stuff, but just increase their CP amounts to 2,000, 3,000 or whatever you got the budget for. But I'm sure you guys want to see the battle against Giovanni if you are really struggling against something. And so please click an end screen on screen to catch that. And thanks for viewing.